Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Welcome back to the black hole. How are you guys doing today? It is a Friday, off of work, and just thinking about stuff. You know how it is. I guess I just do the video sparingly until I get that right format, like I've been saying. But I still appreciate this channel, and I love it as a diary, as a just a way to talk to people who I think feel the same. Like, if I watch random YouTube videos and I'm like, oh snap, come check out my channel, because I talk about crazy stuff like that too. Like, I understand we can feel crazy together. And we smoke ganja on this channel, that 420 good stuff, 420 blaze it. You could say I'm having high thoughts or whatever, but let's entertain them. Why not? We got nothing better to do. So today I want to talk about something pretty interesting. Like, for the longest I remember when I was like a child, I don't know, I had to be like maybe 8 or something, and I asked my mom, like, how do our hands move? And then that was my first time like really asking a question about like the fundamentals of reality. But like, as an 8-year-old, like, how do your hands move? Like, my mom said it's through the brain. Yeah, understandably so. But that still didn't explain a lot of stuff. Like, well, even if it is through the brain, like, how can I lift my hand? Like, what are these triggers? Like, why is it so easy to do? And it's just in the mind. So I want to talk about subjective reality. I think that's the only way that we're going to be able to deeply get into those kind of questions. Like, who are we as human beings? Like, what is our subjective reality? And a lot of people have talked about this before. Some people even say like the subjective reality isn't even accurate information. But that's still like me as an 8-year-old saying, you know, like, how do my hands move? But that was the limitations of my questions. I didn't ask like where I came from or why is it that my hands move in the first place? Like, why is it that inside this world, given our physics, I guess, given our elements that we have to use, why is it that we have hands and mouths and speak and do all this stuff? Like, what's the purpose of it? Wouldn't it be better if we had 8 arms? Like, is this, and if natural selection is a thing and we're supposed to be like the best creatures, or at least, you know, working to become that, then, you know, what is it about the subjective experience that can help push along that type of evolution? And what are we not noticing about the subjective experience that maybe we need more data to paint a more complete picture of the universe? I sparked it. So we're going to get into the question. Faith. Okay, hold on. Faith versus feelings. Faith versus feelings. And, you know, etymology, I like etymology, whatever, XYZ. Both those words start with F. So, faith versus feelings in this subjective experience. How does that work? So, feelings. Only way we know that we're having a subjective experience is because it feels like we're having one. And you say, it feels like I'm having one. Like, what do you mean it feels like? It feels like you're alive, I guess. Like, isn't it funny? Like, let me get my second in, y'all. Let me get my second in. Okay, so yeah. So isn't it funny that when you're having these faith versus feelings, and you say, you know, I don't feel so good today. What is it about you that can give you the feeling that you don't feel good? That's your subjective experience of you not feeling good. How do you know that you're feeling that? First of all, you have to know that you're a person. Secondly, you have to believe that you have feelings. You have to believe that you're not feeling good. A lot of the times we only ask people physically, like, you know, how are you feeling? They're expecting the answer, you know, my arms hurt, my head's hurt. But sometimes when you're asking how you're feeling, what you're really asking is how are you feeling emotionally? And that might be hard for like some people to grasp. Like when they say how you're feeling, they think that you're talking about their physical state, and I guess that's because they don't see the emotional state as something to be. Airplane coming by. Yeah. So when you ask them how they feel, and they say, I don't feel so well, but they're talking about their body hurts, but they're not talking about if they're mentally well, and are they validating those experiences, or are they not using them? There's a question that I think is interesting. It might be a little bit off topic, but whatever. We're talking. We just like to talk randomly about stuff. So that question is, if you don't care about something, does it exist? It's the same way, like if a tree falls in the forest, did it still fall? Like if you don't care, does it exist? If you don't acknowledge your emotions, do they exist? And another thing is, how do you acknowledge your emotions? And how do you acknowledge your feelings? What are feelings and what are emotions? Like we talked about, there's feelings like emotional feelings and then physical feelings in the body. And the subjective experience is like both of those. The sum of it is both of those. So let's say you get a bad feeling, your stomach starts to hurt. You're having a physical reaction, and you're also having an emotional reaction. But both of those equal the outcome, which is your state of being. Hey, we're getting there now. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you have an emotional reaction and you have a physical reaction, and both of those equal the state of being. Again, you're doing homework. Your teacher gives you like a book to read, a 2-page essay about a book, whatever. Now, your emotional reaction might be, oh. Your physical reaction might be exhaustion, and there we go. So like, so your emotions and feelings are kind of wrapped up into one ball, and we call that the subjective experience. So that's really interesting. You don't need sight to have emotions. You don't need sight to have feelings. You don't need to be able to hear to have emotions, and you don't need to be able to hear to have feelings. Those are just... But you do need to be able to think. And that's like the main thing. So I like to so what we try to do here at the Black Hole is we try to break apart reality at the seams and figure out what's under there. Even if it's a fruitless task, it's just something interesting to do in the grand scheme of things. And who knows, you might find something interesting about yourself, another way to use your energies in life, another way to react to certain situations that might make it more beneficial for you. So I wouldn't say it's totally fruitless. Oh, hold on, y'all. Train. Okay. So I've been talking about the feelings part, but I didn't talk about the faith part. Faith versus feelings. So you're feeling something. How do you know that you're feeling it? Like, this is the biggest one for me. Because, like love. People be like, you don't know that you felt love until you felt it. That's so weird. That's such a weird statement to me. You know when you're like, you know when you're in love. You know when you're this and that. You know when you're feeling something. Like, do you know when you're sad? Do you know when you're angry? Do you know when you're happy? Do you know when you're upset? Are you miscategorizing your feelings? And what exactly makes that feeling a real feeling? Is it something that you have to have faith to believe in? Or is it a materialistic fact of life? See, the thing about faith is, and I like I said, I'm a Christian background. I love when Jesus said this, but faith is the evidence of things unseen. I have to have faith. If you tell me that you're upset, I have to believe you. And that affects my actions and how I treat you. let's say I'm being mean to somebody and I think that it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I have faith and I believe that what I'm doing is funny. But if you don't believe that, then is what I'm doing really funny? Don't you have to believe in that thing? And that goes into everyone thinks differently. Or not even everyone thinks differently. Everyone chooses to think about things the way they want to. They make a choice about it. So, in terms of relevance, when is it relevant for, I guess in society, this is what happens in society. We choose as a society, we choose what is considered relevant, what is considered funny, what is considered all these things. This is how God moves through his people, because as a society, I'm sorry. Okay, it's because as a society, that's how we make choices. Like, that's how we deem what's like right or wrong. Like, I just heard this word the other day, like menace to society. Like, they can literally deem you a menace to society, and that's based off the rules that we've created for the society. Like, because of the fact that the subjective experience is so personal, and that it is a choice, then society has to come up what's best for the what's best for the whole, not necessarily for yourself. There might be laws out there that you don't necessarily agree with, but doesn't mean that you break them, because that's what's best for the entire society, and how we make laws and rules depending on that. That's it. Man, we're gonna have to get into that in another video though, about like the government, because I just think that the government is so cool for that. Like, this whole thing about the society that we live in is all based off of words. Like, they had to write this on paper, and then people had to write down that they agreed with like these certain words, and that's what created our society. So as society evolves and changes and grows over time, and language evolves and changes over time, we're gonna need to, and I'm always gonna say this, like, this is just like, it's happening all the time anyways, but we always gonna need new words to describe new feelings that we're having. Like, how do you know that you're feeling X, Y, and Z? You need to put a label on it sometimes. That sucks to say, but it's like, it doesn't suck to say actually. It's just like, there's something out there. It's pretty elusive. It wiggles around a bit, and in order for us to all see it better, we kind of have to give it a color or a name, something that we have feelings attached to, and something that we, most of us can commonly agree with. So we can find that in a new society. I wonder what people's problems is on the world, like the faith versus the feelings. Like, do you have faith that what you're feeling right now is the best thing for society? And if it is, how do you know that? Do you only know that because you're talking to yourself, or do you know that because you're talking to more people and figuring out how they feel about it and figuring out what's best for us as a whole? Those are important questions to ask. Like, we need everyone to chime in. This is the only way that we can make like real moves, when we're like working together on this type of stuff. But yeah, the subjective experience, faith versus feelings. Like, how do you know that you're a real person? How can you feel that you're an actual living being? It's a feeling, and you have to have faith. You just have to believe it, because feelings are not tangible. So you just have to have faith that it's actually happening. That's it, I think. Faith versus feelings. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think about that. This whole entire science is like, we don't call psychology pseudoscience, even though a lot of it is based off of feelings. Like, you have to have faith to believe in certain even sciences. So there could be new sciences that have to do with that type of faith. Like, why does why certain things make you happy and why certain things make you angry? What can lead to happiness? What leads to anger? What leads to, like, what metaphysical, and I'm saying metaphysical as in like the same way apple falls from a tree, what feelings, what's the math of feelings? Like, there has to be a math of this type of stuff, because it's sensation, and sensations are sensory, they're data. You can write it down, you can quantify it. That's it for this video, y'all. I'm clearly buzzed. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Please hit that like and subscribe button. I know I don't post all the time, but like I said, when I get that down packed, we're gonna have that. We're gonna be besties. We're gonna be friends forever. And, you know, we're gonna be in that black hole. We're gonna be swimming around. We're gonna be breaking down everything. We're gonna be like in our power. Like we're doing what we do out here. Love you guys. See ya.